Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. As states begin to legalize marijuana on their own, tonight the House of Representatives passing a bill that would decriminalize marijuana on the federal level. KCAU 9 Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson reports now in our top story at 5.
Marijuana is not a gateway drug.
Objection.
Friday, the House of Representatives approved a bill to legalize marijuana. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE Act, passed largely along party lines. Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan and most Republicans voted no.
Not enough just to legalize marijuana. They want taxpayers to pay for it.
However, Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz was actually a co-sponsor of the bill.
Because the federal government has lied to the people of this country about marijuana.
The legislation would clear the way to erase nonviolent federal marijuana convictions,
Particularly of black and brown youth locked up for offenses.
This vote was historic because this is the first time a full chamber of Congress has taken up the issue of legalizing marijuana. The bill would also allow the federal government to tax and regulate marijuana and cannabis products.
Children in each of your districts can get a joint easier than they can get a six-pack of beer.
Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer is the co-chair of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus.
We want to have a system that regulates to protect our children.
As for the future of this bill, lawmakers in the House say it is unlikely to even get a vote in the Republican-controlled Senate. In a speech on the Senate floor Thursday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell criticized the House for wasting time on a marijuana bill during a global pandemic. In Washington, I'm Rashad Hudson.
A Nebraska man found guilty of first-degree murder tonight, appealing his sentence. 29-year-old Andre Serber of Wakefield currently serving a life sentence for the 2016 death and dismemberment of Craig Kubik. On Thursday, Todd Lancaster filed a notice of appeal in Dakota County District Court. The attorney there, that was just ahead of the 30-day deadline from Serber's November 6th sentencing. The official basis for the appeal will be filed with the Nebraska Supreme Court in the coming days. Visitor restrictions have been in place in long-term care facilities since March of this year, but now Nebraska health officials are unveiling a new kind of program. They're hoping to combat some of the loneliness their residents are experiencing as a result. They're called essential caregivers. Any family member or friend of a resident can become one with the proper training. Facility staff are to work closely with the residents when selecting their essential caregiver, that according to state guidelines. ECs, as they will be called, will support and advocate for their resident.
Essential caregivers will help to reduce isolation for long-term care residents, while also, as Becky alluded to, assist those facility staff in doing some of those more routine tasks. There's hope that that will free up some of the staff time for long-term care providers, as right now workforce shortages are significant in that area.
Acerno adding that care facilities will have to take things into consideration like community spread, access to PPE or personal protective equipment, and staffing availability, at least when it comes to deciding whether or not to implement the program. We have all the official guidelines right now on our website. The address there on your screen, SiouxlandProud.com. Let's take a look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Siouxland. Woodbury County health officials reporting 4 additional virus-related deaths, along with 134 new cases. That officially now brings the county-wide total past 10,700. In Nebraska, Dakota County has 28 new positive tests today, the county totaling more than 3,300 positive cases. And in South Dakota, another death reported in Yankton County, along with 2,000 total cases. There's widespread concern from parents and teachers tonight that the pandemic is causing kids to fall way behind in their schoolwork. One study finding students are performing about the same in areas of reading, but they are performing between 5 and 10% lower in math compared to this time last fall. This decline in a child's performance has some parents now turning to outside help for this school year. The New Horizon Tutoring Center here in Siouxland says they have had an increase in hours and students requesting when it comes to one-on-one help.
This is what we call an education camouflage effect. So students get the transcripts and they have A's and B's and stuff like that. And the grade is a great thing to have. It doesn't tell you the entire story. A 4.0 GPA doesn't tell you the whole story.
Coming up tonight at 6, KCAU 9 News speaks with a Siouxland student about his journey this past year, going from virtual learning to in-person and then online, and why he says online tutoring has helped him stay ahead of the curve. Each year, thousands of letters get sent to Santa. 2020 is the first year Siouxlanders are invited to adopt and respond to them. KCAU 9 News reporter Mallory Smith telling us how to help a family during the holidays.
For 108 years, the United States Postal Service has conducted Operation Santa, which has allowed people to answer letters written to Santa Claus by sending kids presents. For the first time ever, Siouxlanders can now get involved.
Christmas can be tough on families with the pandemic going on. So this is a great way, especially for those that like to volunteer in their community and now don't have the opportunity with the coronavirus. It is something that they can do to give back to the community.
The program is open now. You can sign up on the USPS website to give or receive presents. The U.S. Postal Service ensures every child who writes in remains anonymous.
Receive an email after your identity has been verified to your personal email address that you use to sign up. And that barcode, when you send the package to the child with the gift, you present that to the clerk. They will scan that, which will trigger our systems to locate which child that is.
People we spoke with say this is a great way to give back during the pandemic.
I think it's a really good idea. I like it this year a lot because of the pandemic, and I think it's just really good that people are giving back to the community.
The deadline to send in letters to Santa is December 14th, but participants are not guaranteed an adoptive family. The deadline to adopt a child is December 19th. Mallory Smith, KCAU 9 News.
It's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. And Marcus, it is not feeling like Christmas here in Siouxland. As you mentioned today, some temperatures in places hitting 50 degrees.
That's right, Sophie. Very, very warm for this time of year here throughout Siouxland, and it looks like the warmth will continue into the weekend. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures drop, though. 50 degrees out there today for your high temperature recorded in Sioux City, Lamar's, Orange City, and Cherokee. 52 recorded in Spencer, 53 in Yankton, 55 in Wayne and Norfolk, reaching 58 degrees today. So a very warm day throughout the area. Overnight tonight, we will see those temperatures drop into the lower to mid-20s here. So again, another night below freezing. Tomorrow, it looks like we'll warm back up into the mid-40s. Sunday looks great as well. And next week, we might even see a few areas reach up into the 60s. Details on all of that coming up in the 9 on 9. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. The Salvation Army of Siouxland announcing today it is about 30% of the way towards its Red Kettle campaign goal of $140,000. Leaders hope to keep building momentum and finish strong. That's over the next 3 weeks' time. But it is all up to the Siouxland community to help them reach this goal. The pandemic has put a strain on many families across the country. The Salvation Army is expecting this year a 155% increase in demand for holiday services this Christmas time. Locally, the Siouxland Salvation Army has seen a similar high demand in services, especially related to food.
Help people with anything from food to utility and housing assistance, clothing, medication, and whatever they're looking for and need. So we want to be able to fulfill those services. So we're just looking to the community to continue as they have been in the past to help us to do that.
There are still some ways you can help the Siouxland Salvation Army this holiday season. They are still in need of Red Kettle volunteers, so bell ringers, Christmas toy donations, and of course, non-perishable food items. Economists say more Americans are using credit cards to pay living expenses. That is a warning sign our economy might be in danger. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, there has been a 70% increase in tenants putting their rent payments monthly on plastic. Housing advocates say that is an indicator that evictions might soon surge higher once again.
Not surprisingly, people will resort to what they've done in the past, is that they will put more debt on credit card. Fully understanding is that they won't be able to pay it off, but it buys them time. And in some senses, time is important. So time will bring us a vaccine, but time won't kind of inoculate families from the consequences of burdensome debt.
A federal order from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is supposed to prohibit evictions, at least until the end of this calendar year. And here in Iowa, Governor Kim Reynolds allocating CARES Act funding to fight homelessness. Nearly $9 million currently available to aid Iowans at risk of eviction. The money will also be used to help people regain their housing after they have lost it. To qualify for eviction prevention services, a person's income must be 50% of the area median, along with other criteria. Again, to qualify for assistance regaining housing, a person must be experiencing homelessness. Well, Vets Power Us as a national program that aims to employ veterans by providing them with potential career paths in electrical co-ops. The Northwest Iowa Power Cooperative currently employing 5 veterans who have been working there since before the initiative even began. They say that veterans have qualifications that electrical co-ops are specifically looking for, such as work ethic and good leadership skills. You can learn more about this program right now in our digital exclusive story posted online at the address on your screen or in the story on the KCAU 9 News app. Healthcare workers learning more tonight about how the COVID-19 vaccine will be distributed. And some are reminded of one comparable challenge from the past. What they're up against coming up.
And it looks like we're going to have another cold and clear night ahead with above average temperatures this weekend. And next week, we could hit 60 degrees. Details on all of that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Things warm up even more. 52 degrees on Tuesday with sunshine. Wednesday, 58 degrees. And then we'll kind of see the downslope of the temperatures. 48 on Thursday, 43 Friday. A cold front moving through sometime around Friday and into Saturday. That is going to bring us temperatures back down to where they should be by the weekend next week. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s and the chance of maybe some wintry precipitation Saturday into Sunday. Again, that's still pretty far away, so I'm not completely confident just yet on the details of that, but it is something that we'll be watching.
If our dry summer and our very dry fall are any indicator of a lack of precipitation, we could be in for a drier start to winter.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Well, pet owners know registering their pet is the law. And once again, it's time to renew your Furry Friends tag in Sioux City. Your pet's current tag will expire on December 31st. Renewal letters already are in the mail for current holders of these licenses, and 2021 pet tags are now available. It's at the Customer Service Center in City Hall, Animal Adoption and Rescue, or at your participating veterinarian's offices. The cost ranges anywhere from $15 to $50 depending on if your cat or dog is neutered. Penalties will be added to a license issued anytime after March 1st. Well, since birth, she's undergone nearly 100 surgeries, but she's not asking for much this Christmas. We'll tell you what's on her list this year coming up. But first, as healthcare workers prepare for a COVID-19 vaccine, some are looking back to the H1N1 pandemic or swine flu from 2009. What they're learning from the past, next.
Despite the numbers, there's hope on the horizon in the fight against COVID-19.
So join us Tuesday for the latest on a coronavirus vaccine.
We'll be joined by medical experts and those responsible for distribution of a vaccine.
Coronavirus Fighting a Pandemic, Tuesday on KCAU 9 News. The process of rolling out a COVID-19 vaccine has some doctors looking back at the 2009 H1N1 flu pandemic, the challenges they faced then in trying to get people vaccinated. Rachel Skidda tells us more.
A lot of the challenges with rolling out the COVID-19 vaccine are similar to what healthcare workers saw with the H1N1 flu vaccine: supply issues, delays. One big difference now, I'm told, COVID is a much greater and more urgent threat. The idea that history repeats itself.
Lots of similarities to what we're dealing with now, and
isn't often applied to a global pandemic.
We're kind of laughing about it. I said it's so strange.
Strange that around this time in 2009, people like Dr. Michelle Barron were navigating the H1N1 flu vaccine. People lined up to get the limited number of doses, and this guy was on your screen.
There's a gap between supply and demand.
Initial supplies for the H1N1 vaccine were limited, so only high-risk populations like kids and young people received it at first. According to a 2010 brief from the state legislature, Colorado initially got about 250,000 doses of the vaccine, but by the end of 2009, distributed over 1 million to county health departments and other providers. That was nearly 3 months after the first doses became available. By the time the vaccine was widely available, case numbers were declining. Dr. Barron, an infectious disease specialist at UC Health, remembers the challenges they faced.
We didn't know when we were going to get it. We didn't know how much we were going to get. And then we didn't know who would actually take it if they actually received the the ship bins.
She says it was a combination of those things that led to public distrust in the vaccine.
Still, because of the time frame in which it was done, a lot of skepticism about whether corners had been cut and whether they were really following through with all the normal processes.
Dr. Barron says one big lesson learned from 2009 is figuring out what patients are concerned about and what they prefer. She says patient education and being transparent about the vaccine is also key.
4 years ago, this woman went into respiratory failure, and her family says it's even a miracle that she survived. What's on her humble Christmas list this year? Next. An Illinois woman is asking for one thing this Christmas time: cards. Whitney Fritz has a medical condition that requires her to spend the holiday season at home, but her family hopes the community will be granting her wish.
Whitney, you should be dead. This time last year, 24-year-old Whitney Fritz was in the hospital with respiratory failure. Her doctors didn't think she would survive, but she proved them wrong.
Basically, it's a victory that she's still here. It's a celebration because she beat the odds, and it's a miracle. So we're all super, super excited to celebrate her 5-year anniversary.
While lying in that hospital bed, Whitney's mom asked people to send Christmas cards she could read to her.
I thought, gosh, what would help, just to bring the spirit of Christmas in and cheer her up and help her fight.
They ended up with over 5,000 cards from around the world. Now they're hoping people will grant Whitney's Christmas wish once again,
so that she can really enjoy it this time herself and open every card herself and just get that feeling of love from around the world, and people that are taking a different light on something, because 2020 has just been so crazy this year.
Whitney can't really get out in the winter, but loves to communicate with people, even online or through the mail. I want to thank everyone for, because I wasn't supposed to be here, and I don't like complaining about it, because I was made this way for a reason.
Yep.
Let's take a live look outside right now. Sunset over Siouxland. Marcus returns right after this break with one more check on our forecast. Stay with us.
Join KCAU 9 as we help make the holidays brighter for thousands of Siouxland children.
We're teaming up with Baumgars to collect much-needed gifts for the Salvation Army's Operation Toys.
Make sure to donate at any Baumgars location or our station and help put gifts under the tree for needy children.
100% of toys collected stay in Siouxland and go to families in need.
Let's work together to brighten the holidays.
The Salvation Army's Operation Toys, brought to you by Baumgars and KCAU 9.